Under the canopy of the blazing ancient tree, Duan Wuta stood there with veins bulging on his face, his eyes like a raging fire locking on to Jiang Shun. He swung his hand, and a long sword instantly materialized, covered in dark purple demonic energy, pretending to be a god or devil. "Let's see how long you can hold out, 1 minute or 2, his voice hissed, fingers gripping the sword hilt tightly, the sword's edge flickering like a ghost, entwined with mystical purple light. He growled empathetically, each word resonating. The 5 elements of the secret realm. "I command at will," the sword blade swung high, cold purple light piercing the darkness. The 5 elements, metal, wood, water, fire, earth, converged and spun around like a dragon swarm, exuding an overwhelming force that could shatter heaven and earth. Jiang Shun looked up with deep, serene eyes. "You want to concentrate the power of the entire secret realm to crush me?" He tightened his grip on his great sword, dark energy bursting from his body like a broken dam. Darkness swallowed the space. Standing before someone who plays big like you, not using something monstrous would truly be a waste. Jiang Shun lowered his center of gravity and said in a low voice, "Shujia, get ready, the storm is coming." Opposite him, Duan Wuta narrowed his eyes maliciously, chanting incantations loudly. Each word made the sword flash fiercely, purple lightning crackling continuously like thunderclaps. Extreme flame fire, extreme cold ice, heavenly ice metal, earth-shattered earth, soul-devouring wood. The elemental forces coalesced into a frenzied vortex. The moment he finished speaking, Jiang Shun transformed the darkness into a rolling deep sea, abyss rising. A black wave engulfed everything as an explosion thundered through the air. Duan Wuta's sword slammed down like a meteor falling to earth, the fierce sword energy forming a cyclone that sliced. Straight forward. "Die Jiang Shun," he roared, but when the killing intent was still an inch from the opponent, it was split in 2. Bursting behind with an earth-shattering roar, he curled his lips coldly. The abyss swallowed everything, darkness like a deep chasm exploding, engulfing all light and elements, greedily consuming to the very end. Duan Wuta froze, screaming in horror. What? The elements of the entire secret realm were drained. How could this be? He trembled as he saw the blackness, like tree roots digging deep, tightly entwining his power, biting and devouring it bit by bit without release. Jiang Shun stepped forward, his body radiating a blazing aura, cold sword brow tracing an absolute path. His voice was low and resounding. "The era changes. 10,000 tribes will be worn down by the Great Way, but the vermin have never been." Duan Wuta screamed madly, drawing a dazzling sword path in the air. "I don't believe it. Die." Jiang Shun, divine wrath, slash. The sword exploded with power, rushing straight down. But Jiang Shun remained calm, his gaze blazing with killing intent, the abyss power swirling fiercely around his body. "Believe it or not is not your right." He slightly narrowed his eyes, his voice like fate. "My battle formation can only contain 400,000,009 death obstacles." The explosion thundered as Duan Wuta's sword tip was stopped right before him. Jiang Shun didn't retreat an inch, his eyes shining with cold light. "But to kill a fake god like you, that's more than enough." Horrifying waves surged as Duan Wuta screamed, unable to block my bladed weapon with empty hands. Before he could react, Jiang Shun tightened his grip, the sound of cracking spreading across the sword blade, cracks like spiderwebs spreading. And then, Q-Chi Luke, Jiang Shun roared. A shattering blast shook heaven and earth. The sword shattered into countless pieces, fragments turning into numerous wind blades, tearing through the air and cutting through Duan Wuta's flesh. Blood splattered crimson against the endless darkness. Before Duan Wuta could regain composure, a barrage of shattered metal shards lunged at him, embedding deeply in his face and driving him into a frenzied roar. "Ika, my blade, my divine power, it's all broken." Jiang Shun gave him no chance, surging forward like a black storm, his sword flashing, the power of Tam. Yu Yan swirling fiercely around him, his voice cold as a blade. "Your move is spent. Now it's my turn." Driven mad by pain and humiliation, Duan Wuda howled as his massive foot slammed down like it wanted to crush his foe. No, impossible. I don't believe it. I have ascended to godhood. Even Tom Yuyan will be leveled by me. But despite his roar, Zhang Shun charged forward, his eyes gleaming with cruel mockery. Lips curled coolly, ascended to godhood. Humph. Let the great Dao decide. A shout like thunder. Great Dao Qidao. His figure vanished in an instant, reappearing right before Duan Wuta as his sword traced a cold ring of light, slicing deep into his flesh. A heart ra. The piercing scream echoed. Blood sprayed as his leg was slashed open, causing the massive body to lose balance and crash heavily to the ground. In a moment of despair, Duan Wuta silently hissed, "It's over," unable to maintain balance, but it was too late to realize. Zhang Shun transformed into a streak of lightning, gliding toward his forehead. Before he could react, the tip of the sword had already pierced through the third eye. Ancient characters shone brightly as blood poured like a stream. The great path opens the heavens. He tightened his grip on the sword hilt, gathering all his profound power. The blade stabbed deeply into the brain's core with a resonating shout. 9 Nether Soul Devourer. The ancient characters flashed and then abruptly extinguished. Duan Wuta screamed miserably, his cry echoing through heaven and earth. Shortly after, a dark abyss opened wide in his third eye, immense power sucked into infinity. Every drop of divine energy, every breath of life consumed until nothing remained. The divine soul has shattered. Your divine power will plunge straight into the abyss! Zhang Shun's cold voice rang out amid the fading screams. The giant titan body began to collapse like a deflated balloon, its power dissipating, the body shrinking, then crumbling to pieces. No, I will not accept this. I will not accept this. The howl was swallowed whole as his form exploded into a purple mist hovering like a giant cotton candy evaporating into the air. In the distance, Su Qianqian and her team simultaneously looked up, stunned by the earth-shattering scene. The energy, it's truly terrifying. Before they could steady themselves, Feng Wuji, Ding Chunchu, and Nangong Yin charged forward, shouting loudly, "Dodge now! Don't let the violent assault hit you. Immediately!" Feng Wuji and Ding Chunchu dashed forward without hesitation, carrying Su Qianqian and Zhang Mingqiu, while Nangong Yin grabbed Howl ran by. The collar and the group fled desperately. Only after retreating to a safe distance did they manage to erect a protective barrier with a dense aura encasing them. Looking at the swirling purple smoke ring in the sky, they all held their breath. Such a powerful strike. Surely the secret realm will collapse. 3 seconds of silence passed. Su Qianqian slightly lifted her head from Feng Wuji's arms, her fox-like eyes flickering with mischief. Perhaps it's nothing after all. Feng Wuji remained extremely vigilant. Don't be complacent. The danger may not have passed. It's just slowing down. Nangong. Yin calmly stroked her chin and whispered, "All right. We're safe now. Everyone can stand up." The group looked at her in surprise. Nangong. Yin glanced ahead with a meaningful tone. "You all take a look." Everyone's gaze converged on the floating clump of cotton candy. Their Zhang Xin stood firm. The abyssal darkness swirled like a deep chasm, layer by layer engulfing the purple energy orb. His voice was deep as if pronouncing final judgment. "Abyssal Devour." At that moment, everyone could only stare in horror and exclaim, "Zhang Xin has absorbed all that energy." Realizing there was no longer any danger, Su Qianqian immediately shifted her gaze to Feng Wuji. "If Mr. Cold-Faced here wants to have my tofu, just say it straight." Feng Wuji remained silent, quietly releasing her and not bothering to reply. Meanwhile, Horan stepped in front of Nangong Yin, bowed in a noble manner, speaking half seriously, half teasing. "May I ask, Miss Nangong, do you have a boyfriend yet?" Hearing this, Nangong Yin's face flushed red. She quickly turned away and after a moment mumbled, "Not yet." Nearby, Ding Chunqiu's eyes shone brightly like headlights as he shouted towards Zhang Xin, "Why are you looking at me? Look at Zhang Xin instead. So handsome. It's deadly." Zhang Mingqiu burst out laughing at the group's varied reactions. At that moment, after absorbing all the energy from the cotton candy orb, Zhang Xin's chest suddenly ignited as if on fire. He clenched his fists tightly and hissed, "Damn it! Have I already overexerted?" Immediately after, his whole body felt like a kite with a broken string falling straight to the ground. The group panicked and shouted loudly, "Jiang Xin!" But at that critical hanging by a thread moment, a figure suddenly appeared. A girl in a pink dress with white hair and a fairy-like beauty gently embraced Jiang Xin and slowly descended. The scene left the whole group stunned into speechless amazement. Su Changqian blinked wide-eyed, only able to stammer, while Feng Wuji exhaled in relief and calmly said, "It seems Jiang Xin already has someone taking care of him." He glanced at Jiang Xin being held in the beauty's arms, then swept his eyes over the battlefield. Jiang Xin was exhausted. The 9-barrier demon had retreated. The main enemy was defeated, but we are also severely injured. Without orders from the Lord, the 9-barrier demon will not stay to Provi to further support. On the battlefield now, only a few scattered remnants of the divine spy unit were dying slowly, clinging to their last breaths. Su Changqian narrowed her eyes at him, her lips curling slightly. "Ha! I understand what you mean now." Feng Wuji decisively gave the order, "Fight swiftly and win quickly. Provide withdrawal from the trap immediately. Only after we are safely outside can Jiang Xin rest assured and recuperate." The whole team immediately responded in unison. "Understood, Captain." Meanwhile, outside the stands, Yanzun clenched the armrest of the stone bench with such force that his bones cracked. Murderous intent filled the air as he roared like a wild beast. "Jiang Xin, how dare you kill my beloved disciple?" His eyes blazed red, his gaze sharp and piercing like a blade trying to slice Jiang Xin into pieces through the screen. He gritted his teeth to suppress his fury, but the deadly breath already surrounded him. "Today, I swear I will make sure you can never leave Tian Yundao alive." This video ends. If you guys want to see the next part, then don't forget to subscribe to our channel.